ET. I just keep buying the same thing over and over again.
But why?
I don't know.
Hi guys, Kiju64 here, and today we're talking physical media. More specifically, I am going to be sharing with you guys my Steelbook collection. There are over 100 Steelbooks that I'll be sharing in this video. I posted a poll asking what collection video you guys would most like to see next, and Steelbooks won it with 67% of the vote. And there are my Steelbooks right back there. With all that said, let's go ahead and jump into the video. And I'm going to go ahead and put on Mickey Mouse gloves. I'm going to put on some cartoon gloves for this video because hopefully that will help prevent a whole lot of fingerprints on these, because I'd like to not have to clear them off. Because anybody who collects Steelbooks knows, particularly with the glossy Steelbooks, getting the fingerprints on them, it's annoying. So I'm going to be wearing gloves for this video. First up is the newest Steelbook. I actually just got this one 2 days ago, and that is the Hangover Steelbook. I actually still have not seen The Hangover. I know, isn't that crazy?
That's shocking.
I'm really just starting to build out my comedy collection, so it's cool that I get to add this Steelbook to the lot. Here is the front and the back here. I got this thing for just $1 at the used bookstore, so definitely a great pickup there. Next up is probably one of my favorite Steelbooks from a visual perspective, and that is Glass. And that's because it has art from my favorite artist, who is Alex Ross. Alex Ross art from people who collect comics are probably fairly familiar with Alex Ross. He did the art for this Glass Steelbook. I think he also did the poster, but this is wraps around. And I do have this one in a protective case, so I guess I don't really need my gloves for this one. But yeah, the Glass Steelbook, one of my favorites visually just because of the artist. Next up is a Fast and Furious Steelbook that I have, Fast and Furious 6. Now, some of these are kind of in order. I kind of just pulled them all off the shelf, so just going forward, just know that these are pretty much all in random order, so I don't even know really what's going on here.
What is going on here?
But Fast and Furious 6 Steelbook, here is the back. There's the front. Next up is Total Recall. This is one of the Lionsgate Steelbooks. It's a great Steelbook. I love the way Lionsgate does their Steelbooks because they have these slip covers. If I can actually get it off here. There we go. Finally got it. Okay, so there you go. So it just releases the title. The back is extremely boring, but the front is really cool. I love the art on this one. I love that Lionsgate includes these slip covers, and they've only gotten better since this one was released. And I have to apologize in advance if you guys see any lighting changes in this video. It's just because the light's reflecting off the Steelbook and messing with the lighting. I'm going to try my best to fix as much as I can, but we'll see how it goes. Next up is Tenet, Christopher Nolan's last movie. I obviously have not seen Oppenheimer yet. Oppenheimer actually just released this weekend as of filming this video. I've not seen it yet. Yeah, Tenet, a lot of people didn't really like this one. I thought it was okay, but here is the front and the back. This one was a blind buy for me personally because I didn't see the movie before I got the Steelbook. I just was like, I'll just get the Steelbook and hopefully it's okay. Next up is a Star Wars Steelbook. This is the Rogue One Steelbook. Yeah, this is the last Disney Star Wars movie that I bought. And it probably will be the last one I ever buy. But yeah, and I actually have this one in a protected case. I do actually really like this one. It's got the stormtroopers on the back, so you can kind of display this in any way that you want to. But yeah, really solid Steelbook. I kind of like the design for that one. Next up is one that Star Trek fans will probably be kind of subscribers who followed my channel are probably surprised that I actually own Star Trek Into Darkness because I'm not big on the J.J. Abrams movies. Yeah, I couldn't really pass this one up. I think I've only paid like $3 or $4 for this one. I was like, yeah, I guess it's kind of hard for me to pass up a Steelbook when I find it for that cheap, even if it's a movie that I don't particularly care for. Yeah, so that is Star Trek Into Darkness. Then you got A Quiet Place. And this is the first one. I really love how it's got the raised claw marks here. That's really sweet. Here is the back. So, yeah, if they hear you, they hunt you. Really great Steelbook. I actually got this one at an FYE when I was traveling for, I think, about $10. Great deal on that one. This is one of the only Mondo Steelbooks I have, and that is Looper. Yeah, you take off the slip cover, and that's what it looks like there. I actually mentioned, the fact that we're probably not going to get any more Mondo Steelbooks because Mondo's been bought out by Funko. I mentioned that in a previous video. Yeah, this is maybe the only Mondo Steelbook I actually ever get. This one was a pretty good movie, even though Rian Johnson kind of destroyed Star Wars, in my opinion. He can do good movies, as evident by Looper. Ender's Game, this is one of my favorite, sci-fi movies. I think is very underrated. But there's actually a new Steelbook of Ender's Game coming out next month, I think, as of filming this video. And it's going to be on 4K. This is obviously the Blu-ray. And like I said, I really like this movie. There is the back. And I do have this one in a case that I bought as well because, again, I really like Ender's Game. It was on my top 50 movies of the decade in a video I did on the channel. So, yeah, Ender's Game is solid. Next up is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. This is a movie that I keep buying over and over again. I've got a VHS. I've got a DVD. I've got a DVD special edition pack that's got like 4 discs. It's got 3 different versions of the movie. I bought it on Blu-ray. This one is the Blu-ray copy. I have a standard Blu-ray copy, and I bought the 4K. So, yeah, this is one of those movies I just keep rebuying.
Ooh, money, money, money.
It's not a bad Steelbook at all. And then here we go. I got this one from the used bookstore also for like $3, and that is Battle Los Angeles. It's an okay movie. I think it's pretty fun. It's an interesting way to do an alien invasion movie. But yeah, the Steelbook here, there is the front, there's the back. All right, I'm going to have to keep turning around, so you're going to see stacks of my Steelbooks behind me disappearing as I go through this collection. So I'm going to move this stack back there and then grab another one.
A few moments later.
Next up, we've got Unbroken. This was another one I got at the used bookstore for, I think this one was like $4 or $5. I still have not seen this movie. I've heard some pretty good things about it. Looks fine. Nothing too crazy. It was just a cheaper Steelbook, so I bought it. Nothing on the back except for the credits here at the bottom. So Unbroken. Next is Hacksaw Ridge. I got this when it first came out. This was a Target Steelbook exclusive. If I remember, it was an exclusive. I know for sure I got it on Target when it first released. Hacksaw Ridge, a pretty good war movie. If you've never seen it, there is the back and there is the front for Hacksaw Ridge. Next up is Gladiator. This one was actually gifted to me. Gladiator Steelbook. This is the Blu-ray. The Coliseum there on the back. Gladiator. Great movie. Next up is another war movie. This is in loose order. Now we're getting in, I think this is the last war movie I got here. But anyway, 1917 Steelbook. I believe this was a Best Buy exclusive. And you can see the light changing now because this one is so dark. I do have this one in a protective case. Really good. It's got the little raised numbering here, which was really cool. And then there is the back. So they're not the most interesting Steelbook, but pretty good. Next up is Apollo 13. This is the 25th anniversary edition. Again, I have this one in one of the plastic cases. I really like Apollo 13. I really love NASA. Obviously, it's no secret that science fiction is my favorite genre. So, and I do really like this movie, Apollo 13 Steelbook. This is the 4K version that came out not that long ago. And yeah, here we go. There's the back, there's the front, and I'm sure you might be getting a little bit of a reflection of some of the things behind you. But yeah, so Apollo 13. Next up is Lara Croft Tomb Raider, the Angelina Jolie movie. Yeah, these are guilty pleasure movies. Like, they're not that great, but they're kind of fun to watch. You know, this is the kind of thing you'd be flipping through the channels back in the day and it come across on cable and you're like, yeah, I guess I'll watch that. And it goes right along with the second one, Tomb Raider Cradle of Life. And this one's yellow. Obviously that one's blue, which is nice because they're both my the colors for my channel. There in the back is another saying. Now, when I bought this, it did have a slight dent there at the bottom. I found that out after I bought them. With Steelbooks, you got to be pretty careful. So, you know, a lot of times that does happen. You really have to go over these Steelbooks with a fine-tooth comb. Again, I want to apologize for the lighting changes. As I said, I feel like that's probably going to happen some during this. I'll do my best to try and fix it.
Do it!
Next up is Street Fighter. A pretty fun video game movie, and it's really cool that you got the, it's just like the Total Recall there, you know, and not only is the front really awesome, not only is the front awesome here, but the back is possibly even better there with M. Bison. And M. Bison has one of my favorite quotes from any video game movie.
But for me, it was Tuesday.
Next up is another Angelina Jolie movie. This one was Salt. This one I was not a super fan of. I actually have not seen this since I bought it. I just got a really good deal on this Steelbook, so I went ahead and picked it up. I've not watched it since I bought it, and I bought this like 6 years ago. So it's one of my oldest Steelbooks. I've not gone back to rewatch it. When it first came out, I thought Salt was not that great. But again, you know, like a Steelbook collector, sometimes you just, if you get a good deal, you're going to pick them up. Predator, I really love this one. I've had this one displayed on my Steelbook display before. I rotate them out all the time, but I have had this one back there before. And there you go with the back there. Do really like the art here on the front. I think this one's solid. And we got John Wick 3. This is the only Steelbook for John Wick that I have. And I'm not really sure why I picked it up, because I don't particularly care for it. It's just not my favorite design here, especially for a Steelbook. But, you know, sometimes I just end up picking up Steelbooks. I'm like, maybe it'll grow on me. It hasn't really. But anyway, John Wick 3 there. From John Wick to Zootopia. That's right. It's one of the few animated Steelbook movies that I have. I think this is, you know, probably the last solid Disney animated movie to come out. It's been such a long time.
It's been 84 years.
But yeah, this was like one of the last things I think Disney was putting out there. It's like, oh yeah, that's kind of fun. So yeah, here's the front. And there is the back. This is another one. This is the 4K. I got this one for super cheap at Best Buy at the time. I think it was only like $15, which is a great deal because the movie was still fairly new at the time. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Moving into a few comedies here. Never mind, this is the only comedy in the stack. So Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. A really fun movie if you watch this during Thanksgiving. The Shining, which was actually gifted to me. This one's a very weird Steelbook in my opinion. I know it's set up to be like The Maze, and you know, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, and they just made a maze with it. But yeah, not super partial to this one. This one was a gift, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, The Shining here. Next up is Psycho. I actually just bought the 4K version of this. This is, I don't know if this one is my favorite Hitchcock movie. The Birds is also a one that I really like a lot too. Hitchcock made so many good movies. But anyway, Psycho here. I love the design, but I don't like the colors here. I really feel like it should have been black and white, and then the blood running down into the shower drain here. I think that should have been red. I think that would have popped a lot better. And then here on the back just has a quote. We all go a little mad sometimes. So yeah, so that is Psycho. And we got Ran or Ron. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Ron. But I still have not seen this movie. It's still wrapped up. I actually got this one sent to me by Odin over at Odin's Movie Blog, or was once called Odin Movie Blog. I think he just goes by O&B Reviews now. Anyway, I won a little contest that he had going on, and he sent me this Steelbook. I haven't opened it yet and watched it. I do like some of the other Kershaw films that I have seen, but I haven't seen this one in particular. But this is another one of the Lionsgate releases, so it's got the slipcover that comes off, so that's pretty sweet. Next, we've got E.T. I have multiple versions of E.T. I did a video of talking about the 40th anniversary of E.T. Last year. I think it was last year, and I shared all of my different versions of E.T. that I have. So this is one of the Steelbooks that I have. There's the front, and there is the back. I'm a big E.T. fan. I do really like that movie. Next, we got some monster movies. Here we got Tremors. This is a 6-film collection. I'm pretty sure they've released a 7th film at this point, maybe even an 8th film. I don't know. There's also was a TV show that came out with 13 episodes that a lot of people don't remember, and a failed pilot with Kevin Bacon that still has not seen the light of day. But anyway, I'm a big Tremors fan. I really like the first 3 movies. The first one is so great, and I just really love this Steelbook here. Really solid. I got this one at Walmart. I'm not sure if it was a Walmart exclusive, but that's where I picked it up at. And then we got Godzilla versus Kong, or King Kong versus Godzilla. This is the original one. This is the one I had on VHS when I was a kid. I never really liked the design of King Kong in this movie, but you know, I couldn't pass up this Steelbook here. You know, there's the back, just has King Kong, and then King Kong versus Godzilla there on the front. And I have that one right next to Godzilla vs. Kong, which is the newer movie that came out, which is a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, if you're a Godzilla fan, I think these movies are okay. Could they be better? Could the human characters, could there be less of them? Could they have a better story? Absolutely. But you know, it's got some good monster fun. So, you know, plus they fight during the day, which is a good thing. So that's the Godzilla versus Kong Steelbook. I believe that was a Best Buy exclusive there. And then I've got Scarface here. I got this one at the used bookstore, so I have no idea when this one came out. It is listed for 2011, so it must be one of the earlier Steelbooks. So yeah, and then there is the back. There you go. All right, next stack we got here is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Yeah, the 4K transfer is pretty terrible. Most people talk about that. The Steelbook itself is pretty cool, though. I really do love the design here. This was another one that was a gift. And yeah, the person who got it for me knows the 4K transfer was not great, but they really love the Steelbook, and so do I. I really love the design. I really love these Lionsgate Steelbooks with the slips here. I think that they're solid. Next up is one that I picked up. I think I paid $14.99 for this one, which is a pretty solid deal. Catch Me If You Can, one of my favorite, Spielberg movies. I really do love this one. It's a lot of fun. I'm one that I go back and rewatch quite a bit. This one and Wolf of Wall Street. Leonardo DiCaprio's like, he picks great projects for the most part. Next up is Iron Man 2, and this one still has a sticker on it at $12.99, so I guess that's how much I paid for it. I remember buying it at a Games Exchange, and I think Iron Man 2 gets a lot of hate as one of the worst MCU movies. I would pick Iron Man 2 over anything from Phase 4, me personally.
Well, good for you. You're wrong.
I think it gets a lot of hate needlessly. I think it's still a fun movie, and I really like it. The back is super boring, though. It's just the arc reactor. Next up is a movie that I still have not opened yet, and that is Last Action Hero on 4K. I really love this movie. I've not checked out the 4K upgrade yet. It's still in the wrapping. I actually got this one on the reprint because, the original time it was released, I never saw any of them make it to stores. So they reprinted a few Steelbooks, and this was one of them. And this is a great movie if you've never seen it. And I think this is one of my favorite designs. I really want to get this design on a poster. Next up is another Games Exchange movie that I picked up, and that is Clash of the Titans. Now, I saw this one in theaters. I saw this one in 3D. This was a post-conversion 3D movie, and it wasn't a very enjoyable time. But the movie's okay. It's not that good. It's a very mediocre movie. But if you just want to watch something that's mythical and whatever, it might fit the bill. But anyway, that one I only paid $6 for. E.T. This one's still in the wrapping as well. I just mentioned E.T. I probably should have showed both E.T. Steelbooks together, but anyway, I did end up picking this one up. This one was on sale on 4K for $14.99. I already owned a 4K. This is my second 4K for E.T. E.T. I just keep buying the same thing over and over again.
But why?
But I do really like this Steelbook, just like the design, the retro feel. It just reminds me of like Burger King from like the early 90s. Next up is Wayne's World on 4K. Now, this one actually had the same Steelbook release for Blu-ray, and then I think a year later, they released the 4K. It might have been 6 months or something like that. And they just reused the same Steelbook and then put it on 4K. So I'm glad I held out and waited for the 4K on this one. Again, I have not opened it yet. But Wayne's World is a classic. Next is a more recent pickup, and some of these you may see on future collection videos. I'm trying to catch up on all of my collection videos because I've got like 3 or 4 stacks that I need to do collection videos updates on. But Kuba and the Two Strings. I really like this movie a lot. I love the claymation style, movies, and this is just really solid. There you go. You got the back there, and there is the front. Yeah, Kuba and the Two Strings, if you've not seen it, I would recommend it, especially if you've seen something like Coraline and you like the Coraline movie. This one's the same studio, I believe, and a really great movie. Next up is one of my favorite movies that I would love to see a 4K come out. It still hasn't. I don't know how that happened. That's Galaxy Quest.
Never give up, never surrender.
This one I own about six different copies of Galaxy Quest or something like that. Basically every version of Galaxy Quest on physical media release that's come out, I own it because Galaxy Quest is one of my favorite movies of all time. I just love Galaxy Quest. So this one was a gift as well. I got this one for Christmas, I think. I'm not sure. I haven't opened it yet. I already have a Blu-ray, so I don't know if I'll open it or not. The back still has a J card on it, so I'm not really sure what the back looks like, but I really like the front here. This one was a gift that was sent to me from a subscriber who wanted me to check out some anime stuff, and that's Metropolis. Not really watched much anime, but I definitely appreciate this being sent to me as a steelbook. And yeah, I have not opened it yet or checked it out, but I feel obligated to do so because it was sent to me. So I will be checking that out soon. Next up is Spider-Man Far From Home Steelbook, and I do think this one is really solid. I do like the design. This was the second Spider-Man movie for people who don't remember the names, because honestly, sometimes I don't even remember the names. And so there we go. Look at the back there. This is one of the few Steelbooks where the back and the front are really solid. I do really like this one. All right, continuing right along. We're almost halfway through here. We've got Aladdin. This was the 4K version. I actually think I prefer the Blu-ray version. I don't know why. The 4K was just pretty underwhelming. The Steelbook itself is okay, I guess. Not really my favorite. I just really like the movie Aladdin. I've got the original movie poster right back there behind you guys. So it's one of my favorite Disney movies. So I picked up the Steelbook, even though I wasn't a super fan of it. Born Identity. This is one of those pop, pop art style. I actually got 3 more. You're going to see them here shortly. I probably should have grouped them all together, but I basically got this one for like $4. I already own Born Identity. So, but the pop art style is pretty cool. Oh, and here's the back. They even continued the pop art style there on the back. Next up is Men in Black, and yeah, this is the 4K version that came out, and I do really like this Steelbook. I really like the art on it. Not just the front, which is awesome, but the back is also awesome as well. It's always great when you get stuff that's great on the front or the back, so you can display it either way you want. Next up is another Games Exchange pickup that I got for $6, and that is Inglourious Bastards. This was not the 4K that came out. This one was the original Blu-ray. There's the front and there's the back. Really great Steelbook from Quentin Tarantino. A really great movie in my opinion, but really there's no Quentin Tarantino movie that I dislike. So there's that. Next up is some of the Indiana Jones movies. We got Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Steelbook here. I've done videos talking about these Steelbooks in the past. And then we got Last Crusade, which is my personal favorite one. I really love this one. I just love the interplay between Sean Connery. This one's still wrapped up, so it still has a J card on it. Temple of Doom. Yeah, really solid. It's the Drew Struzan art. I have met Drew Struzan, who was the artist for these posters. One of the most famous movie poster artists of all time. I don't own Crystal Skull. If I could get a cheap enough deal on it, I might get it, because I don't think that movie is as bad as what a lot of people think. That's kind of a hot take, but I think it's a mediocre movie. I don't think it's that bad. It's just not anywhere near as good as these. Next up is Blues Brothers, and I really like the art here. Obviously, yellow and blue, solid. And there we go. There is the back there. Really great movie. Another blue and yellow Steelbook here with Good Burger. A sequel to this is coming out, guys. Good Burger 2 is right around the corner. So solid front, and there we go. You got the back. You got the orange slime from Nickelodeon, which is great. I'm still waiting on that Snow Day Steelbook. Snow Day on Blu-ray. Hasn't even got a Blu-ray release. Give me Snow Day on Blu-ray Steelbook, please.
Let's go. Let's go.
And we got another movie that I already owned, but I wanted to pick up, and that was the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone on a Steelbook. I already own multiple variations of the Harry Potter movies, but they had the Steelbook I got for just $10, which is really solid. The back is great. Yeah, really solid Steelbook. I said I had some more pop arts. Here are 3 more pop arts that I have, which is Hot Fuzz. Really funny movie when Edgar Wright's the best. I love Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Really cool art there. I actually have this one normally displayed back there. I filled it in with Jaws right now. Then we got Serenity, another pop art Steelbook. So really solid there. And The Big Lebowski, and the final pop art that I have. So yeah, I really like these. I think these were Target exclusives, or at least that's where I picked them up at, was Target. Those are all Blu-ray. None of those are 4K. Next up is Goonies. This one is a Blu-ray. I got this one at FYE. I don't know if it was an FYE exclusive or not, but yeah, Goonies is a great movie. The back's really boring, but yeah, the front's pretty cool. I normally have that one displayed back there too. Mummy, the Ultimate Collection. We got some raised dimension here, which is really nice. The back is pretty boring. But yeah, pretty solid. I think you've got all 3 Mummy movies and Scorpion King included in this. Yes. All 3 Mummy movies and the first Scorpion King. So there's 4 movies here in this collection. And Jumanji. This one I believe was a Best Buy exclusive, shaped like the board game here. Let's make sure I tip it the right way. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Doesn't that look sweet? The back is just the board, and that's it. And we got Forrest Gump. This one is a great movie directed by Robert Zemeckis. You got the box of chocolates there on the back, Forrest Gump. And Beetlejuice. This one is a really cool front. I know they've had a couple different Beetlejuice steelbooks, but this one I think is probably one of my favorite ones. And there you go. Here lies Beetlejuice, a tombstone there on the back. And following that Beetlejuice, we've also got Ghostbusters. Yes. Again, I really like this like pop art style here.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
It's solid. They have the same style release for Ghostbusters 2 Steelbook. I've not ever seen that one in person, but I know it exists. So I think they went with purple for that one. And here's a few Star Wars ones that I have. I'm really not a fan of the front. I think they're super boring. The main reason I got them is because the back has great art here. Great for displaying there. There's Empire Strikes Back with a Stormtrooper there. Again, the back part is the main reason to get it. I have to ask you guys, how many steelbooks do you buy and display the back some more than the front? Comment and let me know. So we got Return of the Jedi with the Emperor, and not only that, but here we go. We got the classic poster complete with, Luke, Han, and Slave Leia. That's right. I'm just surprised that they included this because Disney has completely thrown out Slave Leia as an option on anything. There's no merchandise that's made. She's not in any promotional things or posters or anything. They try to ignore the original movie poster. So it's great that they have this one. And the last one I have here is Attack of the Clones, which is episode 2. There we go. There is the back. Drew Struzan art again for this one. Main reason why I picked this one up is because all of 4 of these I found at a used bookstore. They had the Phantom Menace as another option, but it was like the 3 times the price of this one. So I was like, I just didn't want to spend that much, but I did get a good deal on this one. I think this one was only like $5. So Phantom Menace would have been 15 to $20, and I just wasn't going to spend that for it. But yeah, great Star Wars steelbooks there, particularly the back. All right, next we got some minimalist style stuff, which is Toy Story. Again, these are displayed back behind me. I think Toy Story's the 1, 2, and 3 is the best animated trilogy of all time. Don't know if that's a hot take. It probably shouldn't be. I think it really is. But anyway, I really love these steelbooks. You can find some of these discounted already, but I bought them when they first came out. I bought them for full retail. These are 4K versions of the movie. I just really like the art here on the front. The back doesn't really have much on it, but and there you go. There's Toy Story 3. So yeah, great movie. I prefer to ignore Toy Story 4. It's not that it's a bad movie. I just think it's nowhere near in the same league as the first 3 movies. It's a completely unnecessary movie, in my opinion. But here we go. Moving into some Marvel movies. We got Avengers Endgame. This was the last Marvel movie I bought, unless you want to count Spider-Man. Still looks okay. I mean, I think they did a good job of trying to fit it all. I really like the overall design of this, mainly because here on the back you got everybody who got snapped, and then you got everybody who remains here on the front. I won't get into my overall thoughts in this movie because it'll make the video too long, and it's already going to be long enough as is.
I could do this all day.
So let's go ahead and move into one of the last MCU movies to the first MCU movie, and that is Iron Man, which is still one of the best MCU movies ever made. This was the first one steelbook that I bought from the MCU movies, and there you go. You got the arc reactor there on the back. So great there. Yeah, I'm not a super fan of this specific steelbook. I really just don't like the way he's positioned. I think it looks really dumb, to be honest. I don't know why I bought this one, because I just was never really a fan of it. I think the main reason why I bought this, and the main thing I actually do like about it, is I like how gold the gauntlet actually looks. I just don't like the overall positioning of everything, because you got all this empty space here. Next up is a more recent pickup, which is Italian Job on 4K. I have not opened this one yet. I'm a big fan of Italian Job. I've seen this movie many, many times, but I've never seen it on 4K, so I'll be interested to check it out. Yeah, it's just got the original poster design here from the front, which is great. Another pickup that I picked up along with Italian Job is Lord of War. Again, I picked both of these up just a few weeks ago. These were on sale at Best Buy, so another Lionsgate. This one has another slip you can pull off, just like the other Lionsgate Steelbooks. Lord of War. Next up is a movie that all 90s kids know, and that is Space Jam. This is the Space Jam Steelbook. I paid $4 for this at the used bookstore. A great deal here. It's a great Steelbook. I already own the 4K. This one's just the Blu-ray. I literally just picked it up because the Steelbook looks cool. This one was interesting. The Equalizer on 4K. I actually bought this one at the used bookstore. It's still wrapped up. It was only $13. I've never actually seen The Equalizer, but I do like Denzel Washington. I think he's one of the best actors of my generation. And yeah, so it was like $13 for a Steelbook on 4K, still wrapped up. Sure, let's go ahead and pick it up. This one I picked up for $2. Uncle Drew. Never even seen this movie. I remember when it came out. That's about it. The back looks pretty boring. The front looks okay, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it at some point. But a Steelbook for $2, it's just, I don't know. I've got a problem. I buy stuff that I don't necessarily want.
But why?
The Millennium Actress. This was another anime that was sent to me by the same person who sent the other anime to me to check out. And so I have not checked it out yet. Obviously, it's still in the wrapping here, but I've not seen the movie yet. So, but yeah, Millennium Actress, another great Steelbook there. Another one that I got at the used bookstore here, Karate Kid. This one, I believe, was a Target exclusive. There you go on the back. I can't wait for the new season of Cobra Kai. Great show. If you've never seen Cobra Kai, definitely check it out.
Put one of those hash browns at the end, you know, like hash brown Team Cobra Kai or something.
All right, we are on our final stack here. Next up is Wonder Woman. This is the 4K. One of the best DC U movies by far. I mean, the second Wonder Woman wasn't that great, but the first one was pretty fun, solid movie. And there you go. There is the back. I already own this on Blu-ray, but I was like, you know what? 4K Steelbook. I got this from the used bookstore. I think I paid $13 for it. Definitely worth it. Yeah, I really like this Steelbook. Next up is one that I just recently picked up again. That's Dredd. I really love Dredd. I think Dredd is a great movie. I think Dredd is a very underrated movie. I mean, I guess it has like a cult following at this point. I think I had terrible marketing, but yeah, Dredd is really solid. There you go. See, you take the cover off there. Just look at that. There you go. There is the back there on the law. Dredd is great. I don't know if this has the 3D version on it. The original Blu-ray had a Blu-ray and a Blu-ray 3D option, and Dredd on Blu-ray 3D, if you have the capability of watching it, is definitely one of the best Blu-ray 3D movies you can watch. There we go. We got another DC movie. This one's Aquaman. I really liked Aquaman. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was goofy and just a fun movie, to be honest. Yeah, the back's pretty boring here on the Steelbook. I'm not partial to the front, to be honest. I don't know why I picked this one up, because I don't particularly care for the design, to be honest. And here's one that I have no idea why I picked up, because the design's even worse. It's just the logo here. And this is actually the same design they're going with for the new Flash movie as well, where it just has the emblem. Really dumb design. Now the back has Shazam on it. I've met Zachary Levi, and yeah, he's a great dude. I'm moving in some more Nolan movies. We got Dark Knight Rises here on a Steelbook. Back is super boring, just the rain there, but yeah, great, that Steelbook. And Batman Begins. This one is another solid Steelbook, a lot better here on the back. Now, I don't have the Dark Knight on Steelbook. I have it on 4K, and I bought a different bundles that didn't include the Steelbook, but I probably should, just so I have all three of them. Another Batman movie. This is obviously Michael Keaton's Batman here. Cool Steelbook. And Howard the Duck. Yeah, I don't know. I still have not watched this one since I bought it, but I was like, yeah, Howard the Duck Steelbook. Sure. I think this one was an FYE exclusive that I ended up picking up. So yeah, Howard the Duck. Next up is Deadpool 2. This one I picked up. You know, I kind of have mixed opinions on this one. You know, look at that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Steelbook looks okay. You know, I think the first Deadpool is one of the most fun superhero movies ever made, to be honest. The second one was okay, but, you know, anyway, that's the Steelbook for there. Here we got the Universal Classic Monsters Collection on Steelbook. I'm a big fan of the original Universal Monsters. I watched a lot of the black and white horror movies, you know, when I was a kid. It just, I don't know, there's something about them. They all got a similar tone, you know. The original cinematic universe, Universal Monsters Cinematic Universe. So, cool Steelbook there. And here we go. We got Fast and Furious, the 20th anniversary set. This one is on 4K. And there you go. There is the back there. I believe this was a Best Buy exclusive. And we got Cabin in the Woods. This one's one of my favorite like horror movies. I'm not really a big horror fan. I like not necessarily parody versions, but horror movies that are more self-aware. You know, stuff like Scream and Cabin in the Woods. I think that they have a very cool humor to them. And yeah, so there you go. There's the front, and there is the back for that one. So really solid Steelbook. This one is on 4K. And for those who have been counting, that I'm just short of 100. I doubt anybody out there has been counting, but if you have been counting, I'm just short of 100 as of right now with my last stack, but that's only because I've not gotten the rest of the Steelbooks off the back. Plus, I have 2 extra Steelbooks that are a little bit different. They're not actually technically Steelbooks, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. But let me go ahead and get these off the wall back here, the Steelbook display, and share those with you guys.
A few moments later.
Now, as you can imagine, because these were displayed on my Steelbook display, these are some of my favorite ones, although I rotate them out semi-regularly. First thing up is The Martian. I really love this movie. The Steelbook's okay, but I just have it displayed because I really love this movie. I think it's a great movie, directed by Ridley Scott. This is the extended version. There's the back, just the Mars landscape there. Another one of my favorite movies, and also a great Steelbook, is The Iron Giant. Really great animated movie. I just love the design here. This is from one of the posters from back in the day. There you go. On the back, you got the screw. Next up is The Matrix. Now, this one is a Blu-ray. I just really like the design on it. Plus, I like the first Matrix movie. Back just has the code. And Power Rangers. I think that this one, obviously, is no secret that I'm a Power Rangers fan, but I do think this movie is actually pretty solid. I've seen it several times. I think the main downside is they waited far too long to get them in the suits, and that was the real downfall for this movie. But overall, I feel like this was a good setup for some potential that I guess we're not going to... And the Zords were poorly designed. There you go. There is the back. That was a Target exclusive, I believe. And here we go with Top Gun Maverick, one of the biggest movies of last year. Cool Steelbook here. I just have this one displayed because, again, I just really like the movie. Steelbook's fine, but I really just have it displayed because I like the movie. This one, I like the movie, and I like the Steelbook. And that is Django Unchained, another one of the Tarantino movies. Again, I don't think Tarantino's made any movie that I dislike, but I really like Django Unchained. And there is the back. You got the sticker there. I paid $8.65 for it not that long ago. This one was one at a used movie store, I think. Another Spider-Man. This one is the latest Spider-Man movie, No Way Home. I think this one is No Way Home. Yes, No Way Home is the third one. And yeah, this one was a really fun movie. I have to say that I really do love the second half is far better than the first half. I think the first half just takes too long to get going. But still a really fun movie and a really fun time in the theaters. Really love that one. And here we go. Roger Rabbit, one of my favorite movies of all time. I really like the minimalist style here. Really solid. And there you go. There is what the back looks like. Yeah, I really like it. I really like this design. This one will permanently be on my Steelbook display. And then another Quentin Tarantino movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is probably my favorite. If I had to pick one, this one is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. I love it. I had one of the best times I've ever had watching a movie, watching this in theaters with a packed theater. I just don't remember ever having that much fun in a theater watching a movie as I did this one. So really solid. And there you go. You got Doggo there on the back. So yeah,
But I'm not done yet.
There are two more that I want to share with you guys. Technically, they're not Steelbooks, but they are kind of Steelbooks in their metal packs, which are different than Steelbooks, and that mainly has to do with the fact that they split here at the spine. So the first one up is here Super 8, and as I said, it splits at the spine. That's the main difference you have here. See how that opens and the spine disappears? See how it splits there at the spine? That's what makes it a metal pack instead of a Steelbook. I do really like this one. This is one I display a lot. I actually really do like Super 8. I think the movie is pretty solid. You got some dimension here. You got all that raised there. So really solid one, even if it's not technically a Steelbook. I do really like this one. X-Men Days of Future Past on metal pack. And there you go. There is the front. There is the back. And this is arguably the best X-Men movie ever made. So those are two metal packs. I mean, maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't. Probably if you're watching this, there's a decent chance you probably know there's some metal packs and Steelbooks. But I figured, you know what? There's a lot of people who don't. And I just kind of wanted to put those two off to the side and share them here at the end of this video. So with all that said, it's over 100 Steelbook. Fun definitely going through, looking at what I had and sharing everything with you guys. Thank you to everyone who voted in the poll for this video to happen. What are your favorite Steelbooks? Did I have them in my collection, or is it something that I'm missing that's one of your favorite Steelbooks? I guess I don't really need the gloves on anymore, but I'm just going to go ahead and finish the video with them on. I kind of look like Mario. If you like physical media, please hit that subscribe button. We talk about physical media more than half the time on this channel, along with sci-fi and some other film things. And if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. You are the real MVP. Thank you for sticking around to the end. Thank you, subscribers. Thank you to everyone who watched this video. And if you like this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, or don't. I'm not a beggar. I'm Beatrue64, and I always tell you the truth.